times will you learn the same lesson?
مساء الخير. ربما كانت حلقات مشاهير الخاصة السنوية الاعتيادية مغايرة تماما نظرا لطبيعة البرنامج الذي يسافر بنا إلى عواصم العالم، راصدا لنا قصص أهم الدور في قطاع الموضة والرفاهية. لذا سوف أتبع نمطا وأسلوبا جديدا في التواصل معكم مشاهدينا، آملين أن تنتهي هذه الآفة وأن يستعيد القطاع الفني عافيته بأسرع وقت ممكن. في الشهر الماضي بدأت الحياة تعود تدريجياً مع الاحتفاظ بالمعايير الصحية وفق توجه دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة إلى قطاع الفعاليات في دبي الذي يقدر ب 2.39 مليار دولار أمريكي، مع الأخذ بالاعتبار أن دبي من أكثر المدن العالمية كقوة تجارية لا يستهان بها. اختلفت عادات الاستهلاك خلال فترة الحظر وما بعده، مما دفع إلى انتعاش سوق الرفاهية المحلي مع عدم سفر المواطنين والوافدين إلى الخارج. بهذا يتم استحواذ المشتريات الصيفية في الأسواق المحلية. ومما ساهم في تزايد هذه الظاهرة هو التأقلم وإعادة النظر في التواصل مع الزبائن عن بعد وعبر منصات التواصل الاجتماعي والمحادثة كالواتساب. مع عودة الحركة التجارية في المراكز الأساسية في دبي، وبعد حوالي العام على إغلاق المتجر الرئيسي لدار لوي فيتون في دبي مول نتيجة أعمال التجديد، حضرنا الافتتاح. إليكم هذه الجولة الاستثنائية. تشعر وأنت داخل هذا المتجر وكأنك في معرض فني تم تصوره من قبل المهندس المعماري الشهير بيتر مورينو، ينقل ما بين جناح النساء، الرجال، الإكسسوارات، المجوهرات الثمينة، الأثاث المنزلي، وبالطبع مساحات خاصة تحافظ على خصوصية كبار الشخصيات. اختارت دار بولغاري الشهيرة دبي وتحديدا منتجع وفندق بولغاري لعرض مجموعة المجوهرات الثمينة التي تقدمها سنويا للاحتفاء بالفن الإيطالي العريق فيما يتعلق بالحرفية العالية المستوى في صناعة المجوهرات. مجموعة باروكو مستوحاة من هذه الحقبة التاريخية في روما التي لا تزال آثارها واضحة في معالم روما الأثرية وساحاتها لغاية اليوم. لنبدأ بعقد ليدي أرابيسك الذي يجلب البهجة للعين مع تزاوج الياقوت الوردي الفاخر الطبيعي وترمالين باربة الشهير. ربما يكون الطراز باروك، إلا أن الروح حديثة ومعاصرة، مما يجعل هذه التحفة جوهرة روح المجموعة المعروضة. لا شك أن حرفيي بولغاري خبراء في هذا الدمج المعقد تقنياً، مما يجعل من عناصر هذا العقد تبدو متناغمة مع بعضها البعض بالرغم من استخدام الأحجار الكريمة والألماس المتعددة الأشكال والأحجام. لنتكلم عن عقد بلو فانتسي الذي كان لي شرف ارتدائه في هذه المجموعة المذهلة. مصدر الإيحاء الأساسي أو الخلفية الهندسية الإبداعية لهذا التصميم يكمن في بلاتزيو بربرني الذي يعكس معايير جمالية هندسية معمارية غير مسبوقة. نهج مبتكر لا مثيل له تتميز به دار بولغاري الوفية لجذورها الرومانية. من التصاميم التي لفتتني أيضاً ستوار بعنوان ليدي روبيلت. هنا تعيد الدار النظر في إعادة ابتكار هذا الطراز الذي اشتهر في فترة السبعينات، حيث نجد اللؤلؤ الأبيض المثالي الذي يميز تلك الحقبة مع الأميتيست والياقوت من جيبور بإيقاع أنثوي سحري للغاية. هذه بعض القطع المفضلة لدي. إليكم الجولة الكاملة. تواجدت المديرة الإبداعية للدار لوتشيا سيلفستري في دبي. تحدثنا معها عن التحديات التي واجهتها خلال السنة الماضية أثناء تواجدها في إيطاليا التي مرت بأصعب الظروف في بداية الجائحة. الجميل في هذا اللقاء هو التعرف على مدى أهمية عدم التخلي عن الإيجابية وحب الحياة الذي انعكس مرارا وتكرارا في تصاميمها. How are you hoping that this phase would change you as a creative designer and mostly as a woman?
I hope that the quality win against the quantity. More quality, less quantity.
How many times will you learn the same lesson? How many times will you learn the same lesson?
I know that you love sunny weather. You love this feeling of positivity that you always kind of portray in your creations. How was the creative process for you this year? I know we were talking a little bit before the cameras started rolling that for the first time you kind of opened your eyes in Rome, the center of inspiration for Bulgari. You saw things that maybe you were too busy before. Can you tell us a little bit more about these walks in the piazzas, your trips to the Colosseum, that were, you know, the reason behind this beautiful collection?
Yes, I have to say that we started to work around this collection before the COVID and the lockdown. But was a tribute to Rome, the collection. We already decided to give a tribute to Rome for this collection, with this collection. And during the lockdown, after 1 month and a half completely stopped at home, I started to walk around the city. I was alone, and even if Rome is my hometown, I discovered something very special, places that I never saw without people, and the beauty of Rome was an explosion. I loved to feel this beauty without people around.
Can you tell us about that emotional state that you were in when you were seeing your country empty, where, like you were saying, Rome was standing out? All its beauty, all its history and architecture was standing out for once.
Yes, but I have to say, in some way I was a little bit sad because the situation was the tragedy. But in terms of beauty, in terms of creativity, I could really feel the beauty and the historical DNA that we have with Rome. And Rome is a city of layers. We can see from the Romance time till Barocco, till Renaissance. So it's a city that the beauty is complete. And so I felt the beauty inside.
When presenting the high jewelry collection, some people went minimal, some brands became a little bit more modest in their messaging. However, Bulgari became even more bold, as if you had a message to kind of send to the friends of the brand, to the people that love Bulgari and are used to this extravagance, this celebration of life. Were you scared that this collection was a little bit too much considering the current situation, or it was the complete opposite for you?
Our mantra is mai troppo, that means never too much, never too much of beauty. We want to share the beauty, and the beauty saves the world, you know this.
Yes.
So for us it's very important to share the beauty. It's never too much to share the beauty. And I think that with this collection, it is a gift to the beauty, it's a tribute to the beauty. And you can see from the colors of the gems, from the light of the product.
What are you hoping to change, having had all the experiences that you had this year, all the lessons that we kind of learned, the slowing down that we did, looking at beauty from a different kind of perspective, looking at our loved ones from a very different perspective, setting our priorities right, because we kind of have this past lifestyle in the luxury industry that we don't think so much. How are you hoping that this phase would change you as a creative designer and mostly as a woman?
I hope that the quality win against the quantity. More quality, less quantity. So more attention to the details, and maybe less product, less piece of art, okay, but the quality has to be much, much better. So this is a Middle Eastern, Indian inspiration.
Middle Eastern,
yes, I think about all the culture in the world, so Indian, Middle East, and this is Serpenti. It is our iconic collection.
My favorite
and,
as well.
Yes, and on you it's amazing, with a beautiful diamond on the head of the Serpenti. And the craftsmanship, and it's always a challenge for Bulgari, because we want to create something that is comfortable, not heavy, and in some way easy to wear.
What's interesting,
how do you feel?
I feel like it's super light, even though when you first look at the piece, you might feel that it's a bit challenging to move even your hands with. And what's interesting is that this is detachable too.
Exactly,
okay,
exactly.
So you can wear the bracelet alone. How did you work with your craftsmen during the lockdown?
Yes.
That was the question I wanted to ask you. Over Zoom?
No, this was a positive thing. After the 1 month that we stopped completely to work, I went every day to our workshop in Rome, and so I worked very close with the artisans for the first time every day, and I have to say I learned a lot from them. So in this job I never stopped to learn something.
It teaches you patience.
Yes, yes, and we work together. I explained my ideas, and they told me why it was possible or not possible. So we talk a lot about the craftsmanship.
Were those periods of time where you were in the workshop creating, did it kind of make you forget about the outside world and what was happening in it?
Yes. We were concentrated about our job, our challenge, because it was a challenge to create something in that strange moment.
Can we talk a little bit about this beautiful piece?
Yes, this is a necklace in a pink gold with diamonds and rubellites and chalcedonies. And I bought the rubellites in Jaipur last year, and my intention was I wanted to mix with another combination of colors with a milky stone that is a chalcedony. This chalcedony is from Nigeria, and is a special blue, and I like the contrast. And the inspiration is from the planets, so you can see the round planets, they are the gems, and look at the back. The quality of the craftsmanship is flexible, very soft, not rigid, and very comfortable on the skin.
Does your table still look the same? Like when I last visited it?
Yes, you remember that?
Yes, of course I do. How can I forget that?
It's a table full of energy.
Totally. I was lucky that I actually shot this collection, some pieces of this collection for my cover last month. And to tell you the truth, it's one of the most iconic, I feel, collections to date from Bulgaria, and I absolutely loved the experience of shooting it. So I was waiting to see you to talk about it even more.
Thank you.
And what about this beautiful necklace?
This is a necklace with 7 emeralds from Zambia. They are beads. We put the beads face up so we could cover the hole with the diamonds. And again, it's very flexible, very soft. And you can see the challenge is in platinum, the challenge of the craftsmanship.
And how important is it to be able to portray this design and yet have it move so well with the woman's neck, and to the extent that you feel it's second skin, even though it's high jewelry, it's not supposed to kind of challenge you, it's not supposed to make you move in a difficult way, it's supposed to be your second skin.
Yes,
but it's quite challenging with big stones.
Yes, I'm a woman. As a woman, I want to try everything, and I want to feel good with the jewels. So,
and light as well.
Light and comfortable, so you can wear it for hours without thinking, oh my God, it's too heavy. This is again, we thought about the planets.
And you introduced pearl, which is something you don't see quite often in Bulgaria's high jewelry.
Exactly, and in this case you can see the different movement is a little bit more rigid around the neck, but it completely soft as a pendant. And with the 3 main stones, amethyst, green tourmaline and rubellite. And this tassel very, very soft.
Were you inspired by any specific artists during that period?
But you know, my first time that I started to work with Barocco, I went to Piazza Navona. Piazza Navona is one of my favorite piazza in Rome. And there are the two my idols are Bernini and Borromini. So that square for me was amazing, and I went there in last year in August, 7 in the morning, nobody was there, and so I could feel the feeling of the square, and I took many pictures of the details, the churches, of the fountains. So I worked with my camera, and then I share my ideas with my team. And this is the Serpenti with a new way to work with Serpenti. That you know that Serpenti is our iconic collection, but we change every year something. We give some changes, and now we change the texture of the Serpenti. We called this texture pallini. That means there are small beads of gold. Look at the craftsmanship again. It's amazing. So feminine.
Thank you so much, Lucia. I always have the most wonderful time talking to you.
I love to talk to you. We didn't talk about your necklace.
Yes.
It's so beautiful on you, and that I cannot take out my eyes from the sapphire. That's a 47 carat sapphire from Sri Lanka, and it's a cushion. And I remember when I bought it, I was in Hong Kong, and the sapphire, the weight was 49 carats.
Okay.
But it was beautiful, but not perfect. Then I bought it, but I asked to recut the stone in Italy, and so the cut is perfect Bulgari cut. And now I can see the life inside of the stone.
I know we said thank you and we were wrapping the interview, but do you get emotionally attached to some particular stones because of the way that you acquired them, and once they're sold, you kind of feel like, oh?
Not really, because I'm very happy when I can share my joy with another woman. So I see you with this sapphire, and I feel happy because I can feel the energy. I can feel the energy on you. It's gorgeous.
Thank you so much, Lucia.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Even during the difficult period we experienced in all our countries, people were really calling Wishome. You know, as if jewelry, for the reason you were mentioning, jewelry is about eternity.
How many times will you learn the same lesson? How many times will you learn the same lesson?
لازلنا في عالم المجوهرات التي من شأنها أن تبعث روح الإيجابية والاستمرارية في زمن نحن بحاجة إليها بصورة كبيرة. كنا قد عرضنا عليكم وثائقياً عن تاريخ دار شوميه الذي يعود إلى أكثر من 250 عاماً. لو كان بإمكان البشرية تخطي كل هذه المصاعب مصورة في قصة نجاح دار واحدة، فإننا بالتأكيد بمقدورنا أن نعود أقوى بعد زوال هذه الغمامة بإذن الله. توجهنا إلى متجر شوميه في دبي مول للاطلاع على المجموعات المتوفرة وللحديث مع المدير التنفيذي جان مارك مانسفيلد عن بعد في صلة كبار الشخصيات.
Life has changed quite a lot, huh, Jean-Marc?
Yeah. Who could have imagined what happened after our last meeting, our last moment together, full of joy and energy, and suddenly, whoop.
I'm so happy though that this is the last memory that I had of Fashion Week in Paris was with the house of Wشوميه producing this amazing documentary about a house that has been resilient over two centuries. And today is another example of a crisis and how brands and how luxury houses such as Wشوميه have the power to emerge out of it stronger, better. Tell us a little bit more about this phase for the house of Wشوميه. How did you manage the production of the high jewelry collection? How did you manage your team? How did you keep their morale up and high during these difficult times?
Sure, it was a difficult time for everybody, and we know how many people suffered a lot. So this, for sure, was a major concern for all of us. But what happened for the Wشوميه people is that thanks everything, nobody experienced really a personal virus or things like that. We made really the decision in France and in many of our countries to stay at home. And what was the surprise, in fact, that we did not lose any energy. We worked differently. We had to work together as a team differently, but everybody was so much behind the thing, to fight against the situation.
What's interesting is, Jean-Marc, we spoke about this thoroughly in our past interviews, that luxury houses, maisons of jewelry always reflected a specific climate that we are passing through. And today is the perfect opportunity to speak about this. How does the current situation impact the creativity of Wشوميه, or how does it change with the change of maybe customer needs right now, customer taste, customer economic power as well? How does that all kind of reflect on this chapter that we are facing right now?
For me, the great surprise is even during the difficult period we experienced in all our countries, people were really calling Wشوميه, as if jewelry, for the reason you were mentioning, jewelry is about eternity. Jewelry is about long lasting. Jewelry probably has something to do with reality, but a positive reality. Many people called us, our staff, our stores, in order to ask, for creations to offer to the beloved one next to them, as if it was also a question of we can do it together, we can pass this difficult period together. So that's really for me the major surprise. It looks as if jewelry was a sort of an additional tool of fighting against the virus and against this period. That was very interesting. Among the 12 beautiful pieces of Skyline, we have selected 2 because we believe they really express perfectly both the work on gold but also the exclusive, beautiful stones that we offer in this collection.
Let's talk about the collection that was presented yesterday. First of all, great skills. Presenting skills. You were the host of the entire event, doing interviews. It just warmed my heart because I know all of you at Wshomie, and it was very nice to kind of see you in this personal kind of situation, and beautiful tone of voice, and the storytelling was there, the magic was there, the pieces, even though they're not fully finished, not all the production process was finished, but the main pieces were there, and they're beautiful, and they're mind-blowing to say the least. And one of my favorite pieces is the one that is next to you, this from the Skyline chapter, and you're wearing, are you wearing a brush from the same chapter as well? You always have the best taste in choosing those brushes. So let's start talking about the 6 chapters. Why 6 chapters, and what are the main kind of references for each and every one of them?
In fact, as we traditionally do, we separate in different chapters to have different angles and different stories. Here it's about architecture. So some relates to the way Wshomie already worked on architecture in the previous decades, and some of the chapters are more in relation to the contemporary architecture. So it's a nice way, a sort of pedagogical approach to really tell different stories, but at the end they are complementary and they build a full sort of scope between tradition and modernity. So some chapters are really regarding and reinventing the tradition. Typically, if you look at this one called Lassie, it's really a question of movement, and of course it's a celebration of the fil couteau technique. That is really one of the emblems of Wshomie since the beginning. Traditionally, the fil couteau is here really to be very light, to disappear, to be invisible. And finally, when you wear the creation, the diamonds look like in suspension, like if they were a second skin. So this is what we reproduce today. But this time, we also play the paradox, and suddenly the fil couteau is partly invisible, but also becomes the structure, becomes the shape. So that's where tradition is reinvented. Here, typically Skyline, the one you like very much, is more an echo to the work on gold of Pierre Scarlet, who was a beautiful contributor and creator for Wshomie in the 70s. So it's really about architecture because it's the way to play light, shiny, less shiny, so different effects. But it's also a celebration and an echo to a movement in architecture which is called deconstructivism. And you see even more on the ring that is next to the necklace. It's like a sort of destruction, but at the end, it plays a beautiful role, and the diamond is really part of the creation.
So beautiful. You said yesterday in the presentation that one of your favorite chapters is Ondulation.
Yes.
Yes, why?
That's the one missing for the moment.
Why? Yes, but I saw the sketches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it your favorite?
I think that's the most innovative in terms of shape and the mix of coverage. You think about the necklace, but also the flexibility, the second skin, the miracle, the virtuosity of the Wshomie workshop. Imagine on the necklace, you have 950 little elements in gold that are assembled together in order to use this fluidity, this second skin. And then you have the miracle of a stone, which is either in suspension by miracle due to the structure, or maybe no one knows, and everyone will have his own view on the picture. It's maybe the stone that holds the structure. I find it very funny.
Jean-Marc, what were some of the most innovative techniques that were used by Benoit in the workshop for these collections? Anything that in particular you would like to talk about?
Maybe one of the things that is remarkable is we have created 3,000 tiara, more or less, since 240 years. And believe it or not, it's the first time through these collections that we invent a tiara which is made of two tiara that you can wear beautifully separately, but you can also decide to join the two tiara and suddenly it becomes one in a very easy, without any tool, but just by clipping the two elements together. One is in diamond, one is in sapphire, and it's a sort of, how you permanently recreate the thing.
What is so bizarre right now, it's like, you know me so well, it's almost like you read the next question in my mind. I was going to ask you, since tiaras have been a pillar in the history of wشوميه, if you were to envision right now a tiara that represents 2020 with all its uncertainty, how would it look like?
I think the one from Mirage, from this collection, is probably the one I would put on the table to answer this question, because it's very stable. It's very, you feel the depth, you feel the density, you feel the structure. So it gives a lot of confidence, but at the same time, it's very innovative. It's still very functional, but very innovative. So for me, it's quite emblematic. You want the security, but you want also to move forward.
Shánel has its own laboratories, so it's been 250 scientists working on a daily basis with a lot of different expertise and background that give us the opportunity, to master the different facets of one product.
How many times will you learn the same lesson? How many times will you learn the same lesson?
في القسم الأخير من مشاهير نتوجه لعاشقات الجمال. الجدير بالذكر أن القطاع الوحيد الذي تابع نجاحه التجاري خلال الحظر وبعده كان قطاع مستحضرات التجميل الذي أقبل المستهلكين عليه بصورة غير اعتيادية. بالرغم من الإغلاق على نطاق واسع، استجابت الصناعة بشكل إيجابي خلال الأزمة لتحافظ على الربح الذي يقدر ب$500 مليار عالميا بعد تصريف البضاعة عبر التجارة الإلكترونية، ومن المتوقع أن يصل حجم السوق إلى حوالي $800 مليار بعد عامين. أصبحت هذه المنتجات من الأكثر طلباً نظراً لهاجس العناية الشخصية ببشرتنا خلال هذه الفترة التي تقلصت فيها الفعاليات الاجتماعية. من العلامات التجارية التي تحرص على المحافظة على التجربة الشخصية المرفهة بالتزامن مع المعايير الكيميائية التي من شأنها البحث عن حلول جديدة ومستمرة في محاربة مظاهر التقدم في السن بشكل عام هي شانيل بيوتي، وتحديداً خط لوليفت. ما هي المكونات الفعالة وكيف تم العمل على هذا الخط الذي استخدمه شخصياً؟ إليكم التفاصيل.
Well, our chat behind the scenes was very interesting. I wish it was recorded.
Yes.
But I want to welcome you again in Dubai. It's a pleasure to have you here and to know more about the new skincare line from Shánel. We were talking earlier about the fact that Shánel started experimenting with
beauty a very long time ago, contrary to what a lot of people might think. In the beginning of the 20th century, in 1927, it was something modern, innovative, and it pushed many boundaries back then. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey with Chanel? How do you translate all these codes of the past into modern day technology and pushing innovations into creating beautiful skincare line that makes us feel good and look good at the same time?
Yes, what is interesting is that Mademoiselle Chanel in 1927, she had a very modern vision of women and of luxury. And this is all the codes and the values she wanted to transpose into the beauty product, and especially the skincare product. And you can find it in the way, in all the benefit of the product. We were speaking about a lot of comfort for your skin. It was very high qualitative product, a lot of simplicity. Less is more, you know. A lot also of freedom of use of the product, and a lot of conveniency. It has to be convenient.
It was quite empowering back then to be able to launch a skincare line that early on. Do you think women and the way that they look at beauty and their needs changed throughout the century? How has it changed? What do we want now if we didn't want 100 years ago?
What we want, and is still true, is that the holistic approach to beauty. Because when we were speaking about cosmetic, of course, we know that if you want to feel good and to be good and beautiful, you have to take care of you as a whole. And Mademoiselle Chanel had this holistic approach. And today it's still extremely relevant. But perhaps what has changed is in the way we live, and that has an impact in the way you choose the product, in the way you want to build your beauty routine. Because women today, they travel a lot, they want it all, and without any compromise, you know.
It's really quite empowering. Without compromise means also the freedom and the comfort in aging gracefully, and that is one of the main pillars of the skincare line, especially the lift that we're going to be talking about shortly. Tell us more about this experience, this holistic experience, all these messages of empowerment, teaching women to take care of their skin from a younger age and aging gracefully and being okay and happy in your skin.
Yes. I think it's what is important to know that Chanel is really studying women, because women is at the core of our approach, and we have to know women, and this knowledge is something that you build year after year, and more 25 years of research. We carried out a lot of study to better understand how women live, what are their needs, and also how the way they are living has an impact on the quality and the beauty of the skin.
Where does beauty begin? Beauty begins with the decision to be beautiful. Skin's never as beautiful as when it glows with youth. Chanel introduces Le Lift Serum. The smart technology targets individual factors of aging and delivers 12 hours of continuous firming action. Facial contours appear redefined. Skin looks firmer, revealing a new sense of youth. Chanel, where beauty begins.
It's no more a question of age. It's a more positive approach of age, and the objective is, whatever you age, to be at your best. Your skin has to be at its best, and you are to be at your best.
The way that you speak about beauty is quite interesting. Your eyes twinkle when you're talking about the formulas, when you're talking about skincare. Before I go into the recent innovations and research adopted by Chanel Beauty, I want to know a little bit more about Armel, the little girl that was in her parents' pharmacy, you were telling me. You started experimenting with beauty a long time ago. How did that impact the way that you grew up, how you pursued your studies, coming to Chanel, obviously, today?
Yes, I remember when I was in the back Back office. How to say back office? Back office is not perhaps right in the backstage. Really perhaps you can say in the backstage. I don't know, in the backstage of the pharmacy. I was totally fascinated because you have a lot of plants and a lot of ingredients. So I wanted to touch, to smell, to mix them, to try to find a way to experiment something very new. And then, because I feel that it was, of course, part of the way you take care of you, it was something that I wanted to go a little more deeper. And that's why I decided to study, to understand better how the skin is functioning, how you can doing the right thing and using the right product.
Which brings me to the research center that has over 250 scientists. Yes. How is the workplace in these research labs to have specialists from different fields, from science to medicine, to dermatology, different people from different backgrounds working on creating formulas, coming up with ingredients that have never been used before, cultivating them, investing in them, and obviously coming up with new innovations. Tell us a little bit more about
it's a big topic. So it's a big topic because a lot of women don't know really that Shannel has its own laboratories. So it's been 250 scientists working on a daily basis with a lot of different expertise and background that give us the opportunity, you know, to master the different facets of one product and to have a very high qualitative product. And they are based on the 4 beauty regions when we speak about France, Japan, Korea, and the United States. So it means that you can really be connected to women, women needs, women expectations, and that's why it's something that is very interesting. And because all the people working together, it's a sort of collaboration process. Because
it's like the best minds getting together to create the best.
Exactly. But sometimes you need to go further, and you need also to connect with the best experts in the world, external experts. And then all together to be sure that you can sometimes push the boundaries, go further in terms of sensoriality, in terms of efficacy. And this is the way we work, with a lot of audacity that are at the heart of our...
I have so many questions for you, but I'm just going to limit them basically.
Yes, because I speak a lot.
No, like there's so much to talk about, and I think we need to have another episode for that, for sure. In terms of ingredients, if I would look and talk about the star ingredients for Shannel Beauty in general, what are the star ingredients and what are the new ingredients or formulas that have been created recently?
At Shannel, and this is, we have a special department dedicated to the creation of natural active ingredients. And we set up our own cultivation, and it's something that is an heritage from our fragrance expertise. And it gave us the opportunity to master the quality of the plant and the active ingredients we create, and also the traceability. It's globally our own natural active ingredient that you can find in most of our skincare products. And sometimes we use with special partners to develop new technologies to extract some specific molecules from the plant. And sometimes also we develop our own technologies, green technologies, to be able to create pure and efficient concentrate. So it depends on the plant, the part of the plant, and we customize the technology to be sure to obtain a pure concentrate.
In your quest for pushing for these concentrates, you also take care of the notion of sustainability, and that's one of the pillars of the brand today.
Yes.
For sure. If we are to talk about the new generation of Le Lift, obviously a lot of people know this range very well. I know it. I use it quite often. I was always, hesitant between what my skin needs at different times of the day, different season, different countries, different environmental factors, and obviously also it's not a lot of people know it's anti-pollution, and it takes into consideration all of the external factors, not only the internal factors.
Yes.
Let's talk about the new line. What has been changed? What are the main ingredients? And what are the results that we were talking about earlier?
Yes. So the new Le Lift generation capitalize on what the current one do extremely well, and we know we have the feedback of our clients, and we wanted to go further. We had the opportunity to do so, that's why we wanted to do it. Further in terms of efficacy, we had new active ingredients. It's a natural active ingredient that is called alpha-alpha.
Which you compared it to retinol.
Exactly, and its efficacy can be compared to retinol, and it is also extremely well tolerated. That's
because retinol, not a lot of people again know if they don't use it the right way, it can lead to dehydration.
We wanted women to be able to use it.
Exactly. You need a doctor to be able to be prescribed the right kind of retinol for your skin, concentration of retinol.
That's why it's really the performance and the softness and the high affinity with the skin that was important for us. And then we also wanted to go further in terms of naturality. It's until 93% of natural active ingredients. And, but also in terms of sensoriality, you know, when you apply a product, of course, we want the product to be efficient, but also a high sensoriality and a lot of emotions. And that's why you have 3 different textures. Crème fine, for women who really love something very fresh, very light, and that penetrates quickly. The in-between, that is more velvet, and the last one, and the last one that is more, you know, like a balm, bumping and warming texture. So it gives women the opportunity to choose, depending on the way they are living, on their skin type, and the moment of the day you want to use it, the moment of the year, depending on the weather. So all these different parameters have to be taken into account when you choose your product.
And to what extent the massaging techniques actually activates ingredients within these products, and how important is that for women to be able to master?
Yes, you're right. It means, of course, when you will use the product, first you will have a lot of pleasure, you will feel something different, your skin is more comfortable, and the more you will use it, you will see the finesse, but also your skin is more smooth, the texture is refined.
It's instant too, honestly speaking.
It's not only instant, it has to be used 1 month to be sure that you will see also all the more deep results, you know. And that's why it's also interesting, because if you want to use it in the right way, you have also to do the right massage gesture, because it helps you to reconnect with yourself and also to optimize the efficacy of the product. It's sometimes something that is easy, but will give you also a lot of, you will feel well, you know, it's the feel good.
You feel powerful, you feel empowered, you feel healthy.
Exactly.
You feel healthy, and that's the most important thing, honestly speaking.
And you know that when you start your day, this feel-good beauty product, and when you close the day just before sleeping, I think it's a good way, you know, to reconnect with yourself, to massage. It's a real moment of well-being.
بهذا اللقاء نختم هذه الحلقة الخاصة. الأسبوع المقبل مبادرة إرشادية عالمية من شأنها تمكين ودعم دور المرأة الإماراتية. أترككم في أمان الله. كانت معكم ديالا مكي.